In terms of the management structure, as everything grows, at the moment you're overseeing all of it. Have you are you starting to plan for somebody to look after the capacity purchase sector and another to look after the branded sector at all?
Well, as it relates to the management team, we do have a separate group in Indianapolis that manages our classic capacity purchase agreements. And then our commercial team resides in Denver with a satellite office here in Milwaukee. So they're very much separate and distinct today. But the commercial guys are they're gelling as a management team, so they're spending a lot of time together. We've got DNA from both Midwest as well as Frontier, and I think those guys are actually coming together quite nicely. And several of them are here, so you can find their little green badges and go pick their brains.
I'm curious as to why you guys decided to fit the E-jets with in-flight connectivity while you're offering live television on the A320s, and are you concerned at all that there's going to be a little bit of confusion on the part of passengers in terms of consistency of your in-flight product?
Great question. Wow, thank you. Well, we were very much interested in pursuing live TV on the E-jets, but at the same token, we also have to be cognizant that we want to return on our investment, and we just couldn't, based on how we deploy E-jets, which are on shorter segments. The take rate on live TV just hasn't been that substantial. We're not sure what the connectivity on Wi-Fi will be, but this will be an opportunity for us to test both products, and then ultimately, based on real data, decide whether we want to move more in the direction of live TV on 190s or move more in the direction of connectivity on Airbuses. So I'd look at this as an interim step, something that can be done quite quickly. We'll have Wi-Fi rolled out on all the E-jets, both the 76 and 99 seat capacity aircraft, by the end of the year. Well, the take rate on live TV on sectors over 2 hours is actually quite substantial. The take rate on live TV under 2 hours is not quite as robust. And since that's where we plan to deploy 190s, we have to do our economic analysis based on that experience. Of course, the technologies are changing, by the year. So who knows what 2011 will bring us in terms of media on board. Of course, you guys are seeing it as well. I see a lot of iPods sitting here, and soon we're going to see iPads. I mean, how much of the content and how much of the media will be so portable now that people will bring their own? I do see these as competing technologies that, at some point reduce demand for, in-flight entertainment, but increase demand for in-flight connectivity. No. Okay, the question was, are we going to put Wi-Fi on Airbuses? And in the short term, the answer is no. We're going to run the connectivity on the E-jets and monitor that for probably 6 to 9 months and see how that performs, and then make a decision as to whether or not we roll it out on Airbus.
Well, Bryan, now that you sat through your first LaHood commission, and I can only imagine how much fun that was, being from Washington. It's such a diverse group. There's unions, there's airports represented, there's airlines, there's consumer groups. What was your take on, is there any area that you can see consensus building first? Is there anything that can possibly move in the next year that people can wrap their brains around and get a consensus?
Do I see any low-hanging fruit for consensus? Well, there's a huge amount of consensus on accelerating next-gen capability. Unfortunately, that's easier said than done. There's a huge equipage issue in order to get aircraft to be capable of taking advantage of Wi-Fi. There's obviously, how does that equipment get produced? How does it get financed? Who's financing it? Who's paying for it? And oh, by the way, if the industry decides to tackle the equipment issue, will the system actually perform? will we actually get the benefit of less time in space or less time in ground or continuous descent capabilities? So, there's a little bit of uncertainty on the part of the industry to make the investment until it's very clear that there's a payback that the system will actually be able to perform. So I think, as an industry, what we've done is asked the government to sort of speed its time to market on next-gen capabilities in the TRACONs and ATC. And also, we've got some representatives from the airports, Port Authority of New York, hugely interested in trying to figure out a way to create capacity, not just in the air, but there's also a real estate capacity with runway limitations. So overall, I don't see a lot of low-hanging fruit that we're going to be able 6 months from now say we got our arms around. But again, I think based on yesterday's meeting, there's clearly a consensus amongst all of the parties, labor, management, financing parties, environmentalists, consumers groups, that there's a lot that is not working to everybody's satisfaction in this industry, and we should be able to bring some of our best and brightest minds, and I'm not sure why I'm on the commission from that perspective, but we should be able to bring some talent that this industry has and some passion to offer solutions. And again, I think there's a very sincere effort on not just the part of the Secretary, but the civil servant group at DOT and FAA that really wants to see this successful, not just another commission and another report that's going to get thrown into a filing cabinet.
In coordinating these three airlines, you're moving airplanes around. I got on an airplane that was a Republic Airways airplane on a Midwest flight from Washington. The seating was different. Is it a problem coordinating and shifting around, or how do you plan to handle it?
What did you pay for that ticket? Okay, she paid enough. Well, thank you for flying Midwest Frontier Republic. We do appreciate your business. We've got a lot of configuration challenges. And a lot of it's brand related. As you remember, the Midwest brand had a high premium seating content, what we refer to as our signature seat. Frontier has been in the process of rolling out a sort of economy, economy plus type product, which is stretch seating. We did a lot of customer focused research. We talked to literally tens of thousands of customers on both networks. What do they really desire in an airline? And it won't surprise you, because we hear it all the time. What people want is affordability, they want convenience, and they want a differentiated customer service experience. And when we look at both of the brands, what we found is, Frontier was better positioned to deliver on that brand proposition than Midwest was. Now that we've made that selection and we know what the brand of the future is going to look like, we've got this huge reconfiguration process, both inside the cabin as well as the stuff that our customers see at the airports and in liveries. That's going to take about 18 months to get through those configuration issues. But by the time we get to the end of that product or that project, the products will be standard across the entire fleeting, including Republic. Yeah. Well, Republic is, again, it's hard to quantify. Republic is really, again, a capacity provider into our brand network. So Frontier is the brand, Frontier is the product. But yes, E-Jets and Airbuses, and then 5 years from now, C-Series will all be very seamless from the eyes of the customer. Chocolate chip cookies included.